OnePlus 7T versus iPhone 11 camera comparison. This is the video that you guys wanted to see after I compared iPhone 11's dual cameras with the ones on the iPhone XS. Hey guys, it's Sagar from TechWorks and let's get started with this video. I know there is a big price gap between these phones. In fact, you can get two OnePlus 7T phones at the price of one iPhone 11. But for some reason, you guys still wanted me to make this video, so here it is. OnePlus 7T comes with a triple camera setup. Primary camera gets a 48 megapixel sensor with f1.6 aperture, 26mm lens and optical image stabilization. Second camera gets a 16 megapixel sensor with f2.2 aperture and a 17mm ultra wide angle lens. Third and the final camera gets a 12 megapixel sensor again with f2.2 aperture, but this one has a 51mm telephoto lens which gives us 2x optical zoom. iPhone 11 gets a dual camera setup at the back. Primary camera gets a 12 megapixel sensor with f1.8 aperture, 26mm lens and optical image stabilization. Second camera again gets a 12 megapixel sensor with f2.4 aperture and a 13mm ultra wide angle lens. Both phones can shoot 4K videos at up to 60 fps, but the iPhone 11 gets the option to shoot 4K cinematic videos at 24 fps. Both these phones can also take 1080p videos at up to 240 fps. At the front, OnePlus 7T gets a 16 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture and a 25mm lens. iPhone 11 comes with a 12 megapixel selfie camera with a wide lens and f2.2 aperture. It can also shoot 4K videos at 60 fps and 1080p slow motion videos. If you want a better look at the interface of the camera app, I suggest you guys check out my detailed camera reviews of both these phones. I will link them in the description section and also leave a card to them on the top right corner of the screen. With these specs out of the way, let us now get to the image and video samples from both these phones. But before that, if you are new to this channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it. That way, you won't miss out on any of the amazing videos coming up on this channel. In bright daylight, we see both these phones capture good images with plenty of details. There is no weird magenta tint on the OnePlus 7T's images, which if you remember was a big issue with the OnePlus 7's images when we compared them with the iPhone XR. Here, both of them are doing a wonderful job. Even as we zoom in on some of these images, there is no shortage of detail in either of them. OnePlus 7T has a higher resolution sensor, so if we zoom way in, we see its images being slightly sharper than the ones from the iPhone 11. There is still some difference in how both of them capture and represent colors. Images from the iPhone 11 are a bit warmer and they have slightly less contrast, while the ones from the OnePlus 7T are a bit on the cooler side. You can also see much more contrast in the images from the OnePlus 7T, which you may or may not like. In this image, iPhone did a very good job of capturing accurate colors of the flower and also details in its petals. But the OnePlus 7T just couldn't keep up with adjusting the brighter and shadowed parts of the flower. Images from both these phones look good, but ones from the iPhone look more natural to my eyes. Since there is less contrast in the iPhone's images, some of them might appear a bit too flat in comparison, whereas ones from the OnePlus 7T seem to have a bit more depth in them. But if you do a lot of photography on your smartphone and you like to edit your images, you also know that these flat looking images from the iPhone gives you much more freedom and flexibility while editing. At the end, color is a personal choice, and which one of these you like or which tones look more natural to you completely depends on your color preference. Coming to the high dynamic range situations, iPhone is a bit better at bringing up the details from the shadows, and while the OnePlus 7T is also good, it is not very consistent. Like in this image, it preserved the highlights very well but did not bring up any details from the shadows. And in this one, it failed to manage the bright light from the sun, while the iPhone 11 did perfectly well in both of these shots. In this next set of images, OnePlus 7T did better than the iPhone 11. It brought up more details from the shadows in both the images, but the iPhone again does a better job with the bright sun. OnePlus has fixed the white balance issue and the weird color shift that we saw on their previous phones, and now I think they should work on delivering consistent results in all of their images. There is also an issue where the OnePlus 7T won't set the focus accurately if there is a bright light behind your subject, like in this shot. Look at how sharp the flower is in the image from the iPhone 11, but it is soft and almost out of focus in the image from the OnePlus 7T. I observed this in some of the other images as well. I hope it is a small software issue and will be fixed with a software update. Both these phones have multiple cameras with different focal lengths. With the main camera, you can take normal 26mm images, but with the wide lens on both, you can take images like this by standing at the same exact spot. You don't have to move back to get more of your scene in the shot, just switch to the wide lens on both and it does the job for you. iPhone 11 has a wider wide lens, so you can get more of the scene in its wide angle shot compared to the OnePlus 7T. OnePlus also added a telephoto lens to the 7T, which lets you take 2x optically zoomed images like this. iPhone 11 doesn't get a third telephoto lens. If you want that third lens, you will have to go with the much more expensive iPhone 11 Pro on the iPhone 11 Pro Max. You can however digitally zoom in on the iPhone 11 and the results are really impressive. Here we have one image shot from the 2x telephoto lens of the OnePlus 7T, and this is a 2x digitally zoomed image from the iPhone 11. Can you really spot any difference? Let me zoom in to make it a bit easier. Digitally zoomed images from the iPhone 11 are still sharper than the optically zoomed images from the OnePlus 7T. Here's another example, and we can see the same in this set of images as well. iPhone 11's digitally zoomed images are sharper than the optically zoomed images from the OnePlus 7T. So if you go for the iPhone 11, you won't really be missing on taking those zoomed in shots. These wide and telephoto cameras on the OnePlus 7T and the wide camera on the iPhone 11 are not as good as the primary cameras, both in terms of the sensor and the lenses. So images from these cameras are not as detailed or sharp as the ones from the main camera, especially towards the edges. But it is still nice to have an option to switch to a different focal length on your phone, so we can show a different perspective on the same scene. You can take 48MP images with the OnePlus 7T by switching to the Pro mode. These images are huge in terms of file size, and it is difficult to see any more details in these images compared to the 12MP ones unless you compare them side by side and zoom way in. So I will suggest you to stick to the default 12MP mode for most of your shots and switch to the 48MP mode only when you are trying to capture large landscapes or architecture in bright light. Close-up shots are amazingly detailed from both these phones. Subjects are in perfect sharp focus and both have a very wide aperture, so the background gets a nice optical blur. Minimum focusing distance is slightly better on the OnePlus 7T, which means we can get more closer to the subject and still be able to set the focus on the 7T than we can on the iPhone 11. If you are into macro photography, OnePlus 7T has got a dedicated macro mode for you. This lets you get even closer to your subject and take amazing looking images like this. Just look at the kind of details that this mode can capture. 7T uses the wide lens for these shots, and it makes me wonder why did Apple not give us this feature since the iPhone 11 also comes with a wide lens. Anyways, if macro photography is your thing, go with the OnePlus 7T. Coming to my favorite kind of photography, the portrait mode. On the OnePlus 7T, you have the option of taking wide or zoomed in portrait shots, while on the iPhone 11, you can only take wide portrait shots. At a glance, portrait shots from both these phones look really good. Colors are much more accurate and pleasing to look at on the iPhone 11, while portraits on the OnePlus 7T have a slight green tint to them. I also feel edge detection is slightly better in the images from the OnePlus 7T, but the subjects are a lot softer in all of its portrait shots. If we zoom in on these images, look at how soft the images from the OnePlus 7T are, while the ones from the iPhone 11 are detailed and perfectly sharp. This is true for each and every portrait shot, and it is not something that one might notice only if we compare these images side by side. Even by looking at these images individually, we can tell that these portrait shots on the OnePlus 7T lack sharpness and details in the main subject. Unlike the iPhone XR, iPhone 11 can now take portrait shots of non-human objects as well. And just like the OnePlus 7T, it is really good at accurately detecting the edges of objects. Again, we see much sharper subjects on the iPhone 11 compared to the OnePlus 7T. And on the iPhone, we can adjust the amount of blur to the background while or even after we have clicked the image. Coming to indoors, artificial and lower lighting situations. Both these phones have optical image stabilization and a very wide aperture, which helps them take sharp and detailed images in challenging lighting conditions. Colors from the OnePlus 7T seem a bit faded in some of these shots, while the iPhone maintains nice and warm hue of these lights that they showed in real life. iPhone also gets a new Deep Fusion mode that helps it take much detailed images in lower light. As we zoom in, look at the amount of details that the iPhone has managed to capture compared to the OnePlus 7T. iPhone also manages to keep these images relatively noise-free. As we move to even lower lighting situations, OnePlus captures better images because even when we are in auto mode and the light is low, it is capturing light for more time as it would when we switch to the night mode. This is the reason that there is very little difference in its low light images with and without the night mode. Last time when I compared the OnePlus 7 and the iPhone XR, OnePlus was a clear winner since it had the night mode which helped it take better images in lower light. But this time, iPhone 11 also gets a night mode which is a game changer. Here are night mode images from both these phones compared side by side. Zooming in clearly shows much detailed and sharper images from the iPhone 11 compared to the OnePlus 7T. iPhone also keeps the images noise free and still manages to capture natural and more accurate colors. But even with the night mode turned on, we can't say the same about the OnePlus 7T. Finally, new iPhone users get to take amazing images in lower light, which makes me really happy. Because prior to this, even the flagship iPhones didn't stand a chance against the most basic Android smartphones which came with night mode for low light photography. That brings us to the front facing cameras. iPhone 11 gets a new high resolution sensor with a wider lens, and that translates into better looking and sharper selfies. 7T has a 16 megapixel selfie camera, but images from the 12 megapixel selfie camera of the iPhone 11 appear sharper. Thanks to having a wider lens, you can now have more of your friends and family members in your selfies. And again, we can see overall sharper and more detailed selfies from the iPhone 11. Portrait selfies are again sharper from the iPhone 11, but edge detection is much better from the OnePlus 7T. iPhone 11 consistently blurs out parts of my hair, but the OnePlus 7T gets it right almost every time. iPhone again messes up the portrait shot when you have multiple people standing beside you. But again, the OnePlus 7T does a good job with that. Here's a video from the front-facing camera of the iPhone 11 and the OnePlus 7T. You can see how both these phones handle the overall colors of the scene, exposure, and stabilization when I'm walking around with them. Both can shoot 4K videos at up to 60 FPS. iPhone also offers 4K 24 FPS videos if you are interested in that. Both have optical image stabilization on the primary camera, but only on the iPhone, OIS and software stabilization work together to keep the videos stable. Whereas on the OnePlus 7T, either OIS or electronic stabilization is at work depending on the frame rate that you are shooting at. The stabilization, colors, details, and overall videos from the iPhone 11 are just amazing. When it comes to video, iPhone is the clear winner. So after looking at all these image and video samples, the decision is not very simple this time. Last time, while comparing the iPhone XR with the OnePlus 7, OnePlus did not show the best colors and had some issues with HDR, while the iPhone XR really struggled in lower light due to lack of the night mode. This time, OnePlus has worked hard to make the cameras on the OnePlus 7T really good, and their efforts seem to have paid off to a large extent. iPhone 11 also gets the night mode, bringing it back in this competition. So choosing between these two phones is really difficult. I would have to say, for my needs and the kind of photography I do, I will still go with the iPhone 11. It offers better colors, more details, better low light photography and superior videos. But that doesn't mean that the OnePlus 7T is not good. It offers you 85% of what the iPhone 11 offers in terms of cameras, but at almost 50% of its price. So if you are low on cash, or if you just want to save some money and still get a good set of cameras, go with the OnePlus 7T. But if money is not an issue, and you are just looking to get the phone with the best camera, out of these two, you should get the iPhone 11. Keeping your personal feelings about these brands aside, and just by looking at the images shown in this video, which one did you think performed better? Let me know in the comments. And if you are still confused or don't agree with my views about these images, then mute the video, watch it again in the highest resolution that your device supports, and draw your own conclusions that way. If this video helped you, and if you are going to get any one of these phones, I will really appreciate if you get them from the affiliate links in the description section. You don't have to pay anything extra, but it goes a long way in helping me making these detailed videos for you guys. That is it for this video guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for more quality tech videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.